Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video in the Fundamentals of UX Design series. In this series, we are trying to understand the fundamentals of design and their application in UX and product design. So as you all know that we are following principles of design, and in the last two videos I have covered two principles of design. One is principle of balance and the other one is principle of contrast. In today's video, we're going to learn about the third principle and its application in UX and product design. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's recap a little bit. So there are 7 principles of design. These are balance, contrast, emphasis, scale and proportion, repetition, hierarchy, and unity. And I've talked about principle of balance and contrast in my last 2 videos. So if you haven't watched those 2 videos, I will highly recommend you to go and check it out. They are super important. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the third principle, which is hierarchy. So what exactly is hierarchy? Hierarchy is a way to visually rank your design elements. It's not based on design styles, but rather the order of importance. And what that means in a very simple terms is that hierarchy dictates the order in which a viewer will perceive your design. So basically it creates an order in which, or a sequence you can say, in which a viewer can examine or scan your design. So basically what is the thing that they're gonna see first, what is the thing that they're gonna see second, what is the thing that they're gonna see third, fourth, and so on in your design. So basically in the order of importance, they're gonna scan something, and in which order is what is dictated by hierarchy. So here's a very simple example that I've put up. Pause the screen and go through it and let me know which one is the thing that you read first and which one is the thing that you read last and which one is the thing that you read in the second, right? So if I'm right, you read this one first, you read this text in the second order, and then you read this text in the last. And the way I did this is basically I played with the typography scale, and the biggest text is obviously the one that you scanned first. So I created an order. Even though I've put these text randomly on the screen, I still created an order in which you scan this entire page. So that's how I created a simple hierarchy, right? So it's a very simple example. Don't worry, we'll go through more complex examples, but it's a simple way for you to understand that this is how hierarchy works. Now the question comes in, why is hierarchy needed, right? Why do you need hierarchy? So we use hierarchy to add structure, create direction, create visual organization, and help users navigate and digest the information in your designs easily. So what that means is it just makes easy for the viewers of your design to scan your designs easily and to understand what is the important thing that they should look first, because they have very limited attention span. So you should show them the thing that is really important first and the actions that are needed on a particular design first, then the rest of the things. So hierarchy is needed for them to easily navigate and consume information on your designs. Now the next question is, how is hierarchy created, right? We know what is hierarchy, why it is needed, but how can you create hierarchy in your designs? So hierarchy is created by contrast between elements in design, and elements with the highest contrast are noticed first. So as I explained in my previous videos, the principle of contrast, that contrast can be created by using scale, color, space, alignment, and proportion, right? So if you haven't watched that video, go check it out. But there I have explained how contrast is created. Now we are using that principle to create hierarchy. So we're using contrast to create hierarchy, right? So anything that have the highest contrast will be noticed first. Now here is an example that I've put up. If you see, what is happening here is that we have 6 lines of text, and all of the text have different text sizes, right? So if you see, when I put this up in the screen, the obvious thing that you're gonna notice first is this text, followed by this text, followed by this text, this text, this text, and this text. And the reason being, the biggest one is the one that grabs your attention first, is the one that is creating the maximum amount of contrast. So this text is creating the highest contrast, this text is creating the least contrast. And in this way, scale is what is dictating the hierarchy, and the order in which the hierarchy is going through is this. Your page will be scanned in this direction, right? Now let's look at another example. I hope this was clear. Same text, same scale, but what I have done is I have now played with color as well. So now the topmost, the biggest text has the very light color, like very low contrast, whereas the smallest text have a very high contrast. Now, even though scale and color both are playing role here, color is the one which is dictating the hierarchy. Because if you see, this will be noticed first, this will be noticed second, this will be third, fourth, and fifth. Your viewers will be scanning this in the opposite direction from the smallest to the biggest, because here color is dictating the hierarchy. So I hope this is clear, right? So here two things are in play, scale as well as color, but color is playing the bigger role and it's dictating the hierarchy. So let's see another example here. I have thrown a bunch of circles here. All of the circles are bigger except the one. Now the bigger circles is obviously creating higher contrast, so they will be noticed first, and the smaller circle will be noticed the last. But watch what happens when I flip the colors. So if I just give the bigger circles a gray color, because that is less contrasting than the background, and give the smaller circle a pure white, which is more contrasting, higher contrasting from the background, you will notice the smaller circle first. Even though the scale is small, the smallest circle will be noticed first. So this will be creating the hierarchy first, so it will be noticed first, and these bigger circles will be noticed the last. So here again, when color and scale both are playing together, color is what is preceding the or dictating the hierarchy. Now let's see some live examples and see how they have used hierarchy in their design and how they've played with it, right? So the first example that we're going to see is my favorite app. I keep on showing it on every other example. It's the Airbnb app. Now, as soon as you see the screen, the first thing that the viewer is going to notice is this reserve button, because it's a vibrant button. It has a very high contrast. So the first thing that they're going to notice is this. Now, the second thing that they're going to notice is this graphic, because we know from our last video in contrast that graphics and imagery tends to have more contrast than the text. So this is what the thing is going to notice second. The third thing that will be noticed is this text, because again scale is what is playing the role here. The next text that will be noticed is this one, right? And then this, and then this, right? So in this order is what a viewer is going to scan this page. Now if they decide to fixate on one of the sections, so for example, let's say while quickly scanning they figured out, okay, they want to see more images. Now they immediately know where it is. Now they can swipe between the images and see more images. Let's say they want to know about this hotel more, and they've scanned it, so they know that the information about this hotel or the guest is available here, right? And if you see, the first thing that they're going to see here is this reserve button, right, that we talked about. Now it's a very common pattern to have a sticky button in the bottom and have a CTA call out there. The reason it's very nice or very new, I would say a very nice pattern, is because as soon as the user enters on your page, they know what to expect or what is the primary action on this page. They're not confused what to do on this page. They immediately know by seeing this, okay, reserve, they have to reserve a date, and they immediately know what they have to do on this page. So there's no ambiguity on what is the action needed on this page. So this sticky button CTA that we are seeing very commonly or very heavily used in all the other apps is a very prime example of how hierarchy plays role, and how by just putting one button there and giving it like a lot of contrast, we are making sure the user understand the primary action on a page. So it's really important that you name your CTAs well as well, so that it's really understandable, because that's the first thing a user gonna notice. Okay, this was the Airbnb app. Now let's look into the second app, which is the Headspace app. Now in this app again, you have a primary sticky CTA play, so this will be noticed first as usual. Then you have graphics, so this graphic will be noticed second. Then you have more graphics, then this will be noticed third. Then you have text, this will be noticed fourth, and then the smaller text will be noticed fifth, and these smaller text even will be noticed even later, right? In this entire design, if you see, just by looking at this page, the user again know that the sticky CTA that is more contrasting here, they immediately understand that they have to play something here, so they know the perceived action on this page immediately by looking at this entire thing. Now the illustration does not give us much of context, but I think it's what Headspace is using. The next thing that they're going to notice is the text, which is free your mind, which is the title of this chapter. And then if they decide to stay on this page or in this section alone, let's say they decide to know more about this section, they can again go deeper and read about the other things because they are in the lower segment of hierarchy. So pretty nice example of how you can guide users through the entire page without making them lost, and also making them understand that this is the action that is required on this page. So pretty good example. Now let's look into another example. So this is one of the banking apps. I think this is one of the payment transfer apps. Now in this app, it's a pretty different app actually. If you see in this app, the first thing that they're going to notice is this bigger text, because obviously scale is at play here. Now if you see, the next thing that they're going to notice is basically these different selection options, right? Now all of these selections option look exactly the same. They have the same structure. Now in this one, in this entire thing, when the structure is same, the order in which it is perceived is the way in which users read. So basically users read from left to right and top to bottom. So the order of preference here will be this, followed by this, followed by this, followed by this. Now I hope I made it clear that everything here from here has the same structure. So the order of hierarchy will be in the way the users read an entire page. So they read it from left to right and then top to bottom. So top to bottom is what the hierarchy will be dictating. So this is how you're gonna see. Now if you see, this example is very different from the first two where you have a sticky CTA. The reason being here, there is no primary CTA because user has to choose one, and all of these CTAs are exactly at the same level. So nothing is given a precedence. The precedence is created or the preference is created by just putting things one above the other. So they want Chase 2 or the Capital One or Bank of America, PayPal to be the primary options. So they will be put up first, and the non-used options will be put up in the last. That's how they are creating hierarchy in this banking page, where there is no primary CTA but everything has the same order. So put it up in the order at which user scans or reads a page, right? Now let's look into another example. This is Lyft app. Now again, in Lyft app, again you have this very vibrant CTA which will be noticed first, then you have the graphic which will be noticed second, then you have the options that will be noticed third. So in a very simple way, Lyft is telling users, okay, you have to select a Lyft. So this is the perceived action. Then they're telling them, okay, this is where you are going. So you're going from this location to this location. This is your map. This is your time. Everything. See, the thing that they want users to notice is pretty much vibrant and contrasty. And the next thing is basically the standard selection options that you're putting up here, right? So again, a pretty nice way for me or for a user to go through and scan this page and understand what are the important thing and what is the thing that they want to devote more time on, right? Now, as I explained, these sticky CTA that we see in here, here and here are pretty important and a very nice pattern that is being used in every other app. And just by using this one CTA and a proper naming, you're making it very clear for the user that this is the action they're going to do on this page. This is a singular action and there's nothing confusing about it. So yeah, I think that's about it. I hope you understood the examples. If you did not understand anything, just put in the comment. I'll try to explain more. But go ahead and check out different apps that you have and figure out what is the hierarchy pattern that they are using. Okay. So guys, we are at the end of the video and I'm going to answer the quiz that I asked in the last video, and which is basically what type of balancing is used by Pinterest web layout here. I think many of you guessed it right. A lot of you, whoever guessed it right, kudos to you. And a lot of you were confused. So let me explain what kind of principle of balancing is used in this particular layout of Pinterest. So as usual, let's draw a center line. If I draw a center line like this in the center. Now if you see, many of you said that it's an asymmetrical layout because the rectangles are of different sizes, right? The different height, the rectangles are different height that you see here in the layout, which is absolutely true that the rectangles are of different height. But if you see, all the images have like a similar contrast, unless something is too rad. All of them has like a similar contrast. So images, let's say, carry some type of contrast, so, and all of them are equal. Now just by the size of the rectangle, it's not gonna affect the contrast that much. Now the second thing that you have to notice here is that they are the equal, even though they are uneven, there are equal number of rectangles that are above this line, and there are equal number of rectangles that are below this line. So they are actually cancelling it out or evening it out. So there are almost equal number of uneven rectangles above the center line and equal number of uneven rectangles below the center line. So that's why this is a symmetrical layout, because this unevenness is cancelling each out on the central axis. And that was the reason I asked this question, because it's a little tricky one. So yeah, those who got it right, kudos to you, and those who did not, now you know the answer. And I think that's it for today's, guys. In my next video, we'll see other forms of principles, other design principles, and how to implement them. If you like this video, do subscribe and do like this video and do subscribe to the channel. That helps a lot. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.